Well, hey, everyone, welcome to another edition of Their Story, How They Make It Happen. I'm your host, Paul Butler, and this podcast is about, talking to community leaders, entrepreneurs, people who are just making a difference in the community. And we get a chance to hear their story and see if their story is something that we can relate to. Maybe will even inspire someone to go on to bigger or greater things. Well, today, our guest is Tony Hayward Sr. He is also known as T Funds because he is a comedian, folks, and you're going to be laughing on this show. I'm telling you, there's going to be no doubt about it. So, Tony, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks, Paul. Nice to be on here, man. Good to see you.
Hey,
You looking
yeah,
good,
hey,
man.
it is great to have you. I know I'm gonna be laughing, so I'm just preparing everybody else because you are just funny,
Hold on,
man.
Paul. I gotta get I gotta get the drink.
Okay.
This is like Club Shay Shay. Only, only thing is, we're gonna instead of cognac, we're gonna have ginger ale.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
That's
All
what I
right.
like. I appreciate that. Hey, look, I got my bottled water here too.
Oh
So I'm
yeah,
ready to
that'll
go.
work. That'll
I'm ready
work.
to go. So listen, Tony is a Delmarva native. He grew up here, did so many things. We were just talking earlier about how he, played at the Salvation Army in Salisbury, Maryland. Grew up as a musician. Later became just an amazing comedian. I'll have him tell his story about that as well. But Tony, tell people a little bit about yourself.
uh, well, as Paul said, I was born in Salisbury, Maryland, at the old hospital. A lot of people don't remember they don't remember the old side.
Oh, hospital.
That brown part. That's
That's
where I was
right.
born at. I was born in that brown part.
Okay.
But I was born there in 1971, and then was raised up in a nice little old town of Eden, Maryland, to my late father James Hayward
Mm-hmm.
Sr. and my mother Mary Stewart Hayward. Um, I went to Princess Anne Elementary, and for a little while, we actually went over to UMS had a school which
Mm-hmm.
actually used to be back in the day was actually Somerset High
Okay. Yep.
School.
I remember that.
Yeah, before they integrated the
Mm-hmm.
schools when they segregated. So we ended up going there for a little bit while they was actually building the new
Washington High
elementary
School.
school. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and then also again when they was building the new Washington High School because
Mm-hmm.
um, the old Washington High School that's there now, they use that as um, where you can go and pay your taxes and
Mm-hmm.
different things
Mm-hmm.
like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Yeah.
Um, yep. And so I went to Washington High, graduated in 1989. Uh, I don't know how I graduated. Uh,
Don't tell me
uh,
you. I'm sure you were just a sweetheart in class, man.
man, nah, man, no. I wasn't bad, but I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
good. I,
You
I
just cut
either
up a little bit.
Yeah, I either because I'm a drummer as well, so I either was getting put out for drumming on the desk, making beats, or I was getting put out for, as we called it back then, cracking jokes,
Mm-hmm.
we used
Mm-hmm.
to call busting jokes. That was like where you had another person, you would go back and forth, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you would do like a little battle, a joke battle, and during instruction, I'm up here creating jokes and and the class get laughing. Everybody, the teacher already know it's me. So
Right.
and they didn't call home much back then. See, the teachers could put hands on back then. So I got threatened a lot, and then the teachers all knew my
Right.
parents, and some of them even went to church with them. So
Mm-hmm.
if they called home, man, you already knew. Look, you begged them, hey, please don't
Exactly.
call home.
Yeah.
Suspend me.
Exactly.
Suspend me.
So, I mean, how much different is it today? Because kids nowadays will say, go ahead and call them, I know
Yeah.
back in my day, I would say, please do not call my
Oh
dad.
yeah. Oh
Please
yeah.
do not call him,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
knew it
Working.
was in store when I got home.
Oh man. And back then everybody in the neighborhood could beat you. and,
It's true.
and they didn't have cell phones back then. And I don't know how in the world they contacted your parents so fast to let them know you was down there showing off.
Uh,
And you would get a beating from that house, the house next door to that house, all the way leading up to your house for the grand finale. So, but
man, hey Tony, the longest walk, and I tell my kids this, when they were growing up, I said, man, the longest walk was when my dad would tell me, and he's of course he's up there now in heaven, and he wouldn't mind me saying this, but he would tell me, he would say, go out there and find a switch.
oh man, listen,
Man,
I was just talking about that part at my last show. At my last show, I was talking about that. That makes no sense to me. Why do you want me to go find something that's going to actually demolish me? So
right.
you want me to? So mom, dad used a belt. Mom would do that,
Is
and
that
then
right?
and I'm like, so you want me? And see, again, I got in trouble a lot because I was always had something funny to say. So I'm like, so you want me to go outside? You telling me to find a good switch, and it better be a good one. Wait a minute. You want me to do what? Self-inflict this pain? No. And
it
then
would be
mom,
it would be a long walk, man. I'd be taking my time.
oh man, yeah. And see, I rather got beatings by dad than mom because dad would just get it over with. Most of our beatings came because of the fact that dad was tired and mom, we don't upset at mom. So dad would just beat
Hmm.
you, boy, what you doing upset your mom? You'd be over with. But
Hmm.
mom, she went to peel the switch, and while she's peeling the switch, man, she's giving you scriptures from the Old Testament. Oh, she never gave you no scriptures from the New Testament, folks. She them Old
Oh
Testament, man.
man.
Obadiah and
Mm-mm.
Abu.
People are gonna hear this. They were gonna be saying, "Man, they would be in jail today if they did that." Man.
Yes, indeed, man.
I'm telling you,
It
it,
was no
it
such thing,
just.
If it was, we didn't know. It was no such thing as no child abuse back then. I don't even think the Department of Social Services was even active back then. To be honest
But
with
you know what? We turned out good.
you.
You
Yeah,
know, despite that discipline, we turned out well.
yeah,
Because I know for me, you know, after having that happen one time, you ain't to worry about me doing anything else. That deterred me. That was a deterrent, man.
man, listen, man. People don't get it. Just like you and I talked before, just like the discipline, like which many people know. Y'all out there, if y'all don't know, hey, Paul Butler was the man in sports back then. But just like you were saying earlier, even when we played sports, that discipline
Hmm.
that we had on the field, playing football, also on the court playing basketball, that started within the home.
Yeah.
We had chores back then too.
Hmm.
Chore kids don't have. I'm For the most part, kids don't have chores now.
Well, they
And we
want to get
did we did it without getting paid. I don't know why
yeah,
my
they
parents
they
called it
want to
chores
get
because
paid.
yeah,
You got to bribe the kids
yeah, it
nowadays,
was
man.
just we went mom would tell us. See, and I came up where we had to do farm work, and so I remember even going to Mardell and picking cucumbers and
Hmm.
uh, 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 watermelon vines, and they used to call it horn. I'm not talking about that kind of horn. But we used to have a hole like that,
I know what you
and so
mean.
and and and, and mom would tell us, y'all go out so you can make money for your school, and and then Paul at the end, mom would keep our money and then make us feel guilty if we asked for it. How you gonna come and ask for this money? All this that your dad and I do for you. Like
Oh my goodness.
we
Mm.
taking y'all to Ocean City this summer.
Yeah, right. Right. Right.
And, and back
Hey,
then,
I can't
we
even
had to share everything, man.
I can't even
The-
imagine that, some of the kids today that I see. I mean, their parents ask them to do something. They're like,
Oh man,
huh?
yeah. Oh,
I
they
mean,
they
if
they they
if
cussing them out now.
if you and I looked at our parents the wrong way,
Mm.
we knew what was going to happen,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
We weren't even allowed to even look at our parents.
What you looking at?
Yeah, these
You know?
you found yourself on the floor. And my mom used to have
Yeah.
this saying called "I'ma sling you out." I never understood what that meant. I guess it was her form of saying she was gonna knock me out. And my
Okay.
dad used to always say, y'all gonna walk the chalk line around here." So I
Mm.
got in trouble one time for that. I said, "Where's the chalk?"
You were asking for it, weren't you? Oh man.
Oh
But
man,
but
but you right though.
it's
Right.
good. It's good to it's good to laugh, man. I tell you, and to relive some of these stories. But you talk about you went to Washington High,
Yeah.
and then where'd you go from there?
From there, oh man, it was a bit downhill. No, I'm just joking. But I attended Warwick, and
Mm-hmm.
then I moved to Baltimore
Mm-hmm.
for a little bit. And when I was there, I coached basketball for summer
Mm-hmm.
league programs. I also was mentoring a lot of kids up there um, in the inner city.
Mm-hmm.
But I stayed up there with my sister, my late sister that passed. We stayed in the county Prairie Hall. That's actually the school that my late nephew, whose birthday is actually today, graduated from.
Mm.
Yeah, and they had the biggest band in Maryland, and
Wow.
he went on to become a band director, then admin,
Mm-hmm.
well before he passed. But yeah, and then I moved back here, and with that same idea, I started, which a lot of guys still talk about to this day. I started opening up the Holly Center
Mm-hmm.
here on Snow Hill Road
Yep.
on Saturday evenings, and we was playing basketball, and I would set it up. They was have a thing for the community, you know. You wanted to come out and hang out, do something, on the weekend. So we had basketball on, and they have a stage there, and
Yeah.
so they had a big TV, and they also had a VHS player there. So I would bring movies, and I would set up games, and it was open to whatever age, from kids to
Mm-hmm.
to adults to the elderly, and
Right.
we would be there for 2 hours um, every Saturday.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
because back in the day, Paul, you probably remember also that they came when they used to open up the old Bennett High School on Saturday mornings. You could go out there and play.
Same with Waha.
Yeah, Waha High, and then
We used to have
yeah,
open gym on
yep,
Saturday morning.
Mr. Mike Dennis down at the old Washington High. He
Mm-hmm.
used to open it up. Yeah, you only had to give $2.
Yeah.
And then and back then, even if you didn't have the $2, they might tell you, hey, you ain't gonna play next Saturday if you don't have your $2. But even if you didn't have it, they would let you in because they cared about you.
Right.
They
Right.
they, they really cared about you, and they rather seen you there, you know, doing something positive than to be out there, hanging
Yeah.
out, and your chance of getting in trouble. And it's just
So
it's crazy,
so
man.
after your stint at the Holly Center, what
Mhm.
happened next?
Um, Same thing with bringing that up. The reason why that's not because of liability issues,
Mm-hmm.
because other people was using it as well, and some things happened or whatever, which I won't get into. But I started working at Washington High School,
Mm-hmm.
and I came on as a one-on-one
Okay.
because I actually wanted to come in on as a mentor into mentor program. And so when I came in, I was on one-on-one, and then I also was on the PBIS
Mm-hmm.
committee, and also with work with the behavior specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Then I became a para and teacher assistant, and I've been there 20 years now.
Is that right?
And I started then. Coach Greg Bosman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of his assistant basketball coaches
Mm-hmm.
for a while, and then Coach Lazinski, who's actually coaching at Bennett now.
Yeah.
Um, and if you see this, Lazinski, you still can't beat me one-on-one. But anyway,
I'm gonna make sure he
I call him
sees
my
this.
light-skinned son. I call him my light-skinned son.
I'm gonna make sure he sees this. I'm gonna send him a copy of this.
I came on as running back coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a while there. But now um, I am the head coach for the Unified Sports Program.
And that program has been amazing. Tell people a little bit about some of your accomplishments as the head coach of the Unified Sports Program there at Washington.
Yeah, man, we are 6-time consecutive Unified Strength and Conditioning state champs. Yeah, 6 times consecutive, and it's big, it's competitive. And usually those state championships are held at Chesapeake College. But
Mm-hmm.
for the last 3 years, the Snow Hill Recreational Complex has been hosting the state competitions.
Okay.
We are also 6-time regional bocce ball champs.
Mhm.
And Paul, I would see you there all the time, taking your
Yep.
pictures and
Yep.
being there. And we that would be held at the Crown Sports
Mm-hmm.
districts. And then the state champion, if you once you advance from there, you had to win regionals. Then you advance to states, which is held at Washington College in Chestertown,
Right.
Maryland. And
Right.
we go against all the Eastern Shore schools that advance there. We go against the schools across the bay, and
Mm-hmm.
it's competitive. You remember last season for strength and conditioning, they had the kid 15 years old from Stephen Decatur that
Mm-hmm.
deadlifted 605.
Mm-hmm.
And then the girl from Y High, I think she's a junior this year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year she was just a sophomore. She deadlifted 365. I turned to the boys on my team. I said, look, that's the kind of girl. Listen, listen, you don't break up with her in person.
Right.
You
Right.
call her on the phone.
Send her a text.
You send her, yeah, yeah. She's one of those kind. You like, yeah. I think we might want to see other people. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah,
mind. Never
because
mind.
hey, you gonna run into her in school.
Oh yeah, and that's your life.
Run into her at school. I went to one of the unified strength meets last year that was held at Mardella because they were holding it
Hmm.
for the first time. And
Coach Joe Hastings hosted it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and there was a kid from Wa High. He did a deadlift of like 460 something. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's some
You
strong man.
know,
I'm telling you, we had one kid, and the teams have to be even,
mm-hmm,
that actually couldn't make it to the state meet.
mm-hmm,
And I told my team, I said, well, we're gonna have to win 8 events out of 9 because you get 5 points for each event that you win. And I said
right.
we're gonna have to win 8 events out of 9. And we did. Work hard, man, and
Yeah,
accomplish.
when I cover these events and I see your kids are locked in, man.
Man,
When they're
thanks, man.
lifting, they're locked
Thank you.
in. Seriously, I don't know what you're doing with those kids, but I think it has to do
Yeah.
with your background that they're so successful. And I love the fact that unified sports, combines the kids, so
Yes, man.
and they, I mean, some of
And
these
I don't
kids,
treat them no different.
yeah.
I don't treat them any different. I mean, I take even the ones that have the disability. I
Hmm.
will be honest with you, Paul. I don't like that. That's me personally. My pet
Hmm.
peeve. I don't like the word disability because
Right.
if that's the case, man, I can name a lot of disabilities I have. But those kids are brilliant.
Hmm.
They're brilliant, man.
Hmm.
I learn it, and I tell people all the time. like even the kids that are helpers, because the ones that come on as helpers, they can earn community service learning hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so I use them also as coaches, where I partner them up because I don't want to do all the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I get them started, but I want them to actually, to work with the team,
Mm-hmm.
to build that camaraderie and that relationship. So um the thing is, I tell them, I say, listen, when you're done with this sport, you ought to be able to teach it.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Mm-hmm.
if you can't teach it, then I fail.
Yeah,
You
that's
should know
good.
everything there is about this sport.
That's good.
You should be
That's
able to go
good.
home and tell your parents and tell somebody the event that you're in, you should be able to break it down.
Mm-hmm.
And I have kids that actually call me and they actually the ones that have graduated, they actually hit me up and say, hey, Coach Hayward, can I come back and help?
Mm-hmm.
They actually
Mm-hmm.
miss it. Some of
Yeah.
them actually want to come back and play. I'm like, hey, if it
Right.
was allowed, I would let you. I would let you.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
yeah,
So
it's a lot of fun.
you've done an amazing job in the school, as an instructional assistant, mentoring these kids. Just a really great job doing that, and you can see it in the community. It really, really helps out. And now you also been doing it for a while. Um, People already see that you're funny watching this video. But you also are a comedian, a stand-up comedian. Go by the name of T Funds. What made you want to do stand-up?
The money. Nah, I'm just it's the money, Paul.
I know
No,
it definitely
no.
wasn't that.
As an amateur comedian, I'm not making that kind of money, man.
Hey, man.
I make, but it's not I make enough that I can after the show I can go out and get me you know, a ginger ale and a honey bun. But yeah, it's the passion, man.
Right.
It's funny because a lot of people don't know comedy. Just like with martial arts, because I do martial arts as well. There's things that I don't really like. I never really like to expose to the public. I always wanted to keep that a secret.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people would, push me, say, man, you should do stand up, you should do this, you should do that. People been telling me now, put your stuff on TikTok and do this and that, which we're looking into that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I was younger, like I said, my family used to get me to imitate a lot of people, because I could imitate people, and I was very observant.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times I would look at things and then it would all go in. And then, I would make light of things, or like even like we came home from church or whatever, I could imitate the pastor or the minister that was there, or, my mom and my dad, or how they testified or what they did, or even how people, shouting and stuff in the church and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I was like 10 and 11, my mom actually, because people don't know, my mom and dad both were humorous people. My dad was very humorous, like with telling stories. Like he tell
Mm-hmm.
you stories of the old. My mom, she's very humorous, even though you wouldn't think so. But my mom used to get me to call her brothers and stuff and prank them.
Mm.
And I used to do that when I was younger. And my late aunts, when I used to go over their house, and my cousins, they would pull up different names and it would say, imitate this person, imitate that person. And I would do it. And when I was 15, I started writing plays
Mm.
and skits.
Mm.
Um, and as they would call it, for Holy Convocation, I would write them for that, and different events, youth um, services, conferences. And the players that I had, some of them, um, they went to college, and some of them moved away. Some of them quit because I couldn't pay them. Say, I was like, I can't pay y'all.
Uh-huh.
Can't pay y'all. We're doing this for the Lord. Can't.
Right.
That was the excuse I
Right.
used. We're doing this for the
There
Lord.
you,
But
there you go.
I would keep all the free will off, and all the free will off. I wouldn't tell them I had a little envelope, but nah.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so they went on. So then I just started doing like sketches. I started doing the woman, which led to Pastor T.
Mm-hmm.
And Pastor T was his character was a ex pimp
Mm-hmm.
from off the street that wanted to come into the church and actually, con the people in the church out of their money and was using their money to start his businesses and do some other illegal stuff. But in the end, he gave his life to Christ.
There you go.
And
So,
so
so do you go around to like clubs or parties and do your stand up?
all occasions, yeah. I
Okay.
just we did the warehouse, and shout out to my son who actually went to school in the college for business. He's my right now he's my business my manager. I don't
Mm-hmm.
pay him either. I just I buy him a
Hey,
sub every now and then
look,
from I buy him a sub every now and then.
he gonna walk off stage on you, man.
But
Dad,
yeah,
you better give me my money.
yeah. Yeah, uh he sets up my shows and stuff,
Your
and
schedule.
he's been doing an awesome job. And
Good.
so we did the warehouse. A lot of people know where the warehouse is,
Mm-hmm.
and they may ask us to come back. Um,
Okay.
we was at the dealer center.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And you got a show coming up, right?
we have a show coming up at the Cropper station on November the 2nd.
Okay.
In Princess Anne, right in the town of Princess Anne.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have fun at my shows. We have fun.
Mm-hmm.
I make it, I make it a family affair, and like I can't give it away. But at the end of my shows, if people have been watching and people have been in my shows, they know at the end of my shows we do something where everybody comes together as a family.
Mm. That's awesome. That is awesome.
We
Well,
want
look,
everybody
man.
to leave happy, man. And want everybody to come back. You know how when you go to a restaurant and get something good to eat, you're like, man, I got to go back there again. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and then you
Mm-hmm.
tell others that's how I want my shows to be.
Well,
You
we
know,
all know it's clean family fun.
yes, man.
Um, he is known as T Funds. It's Tony Hayward Sr., stand-up comedian, but also just a gentleman in the community. He's been a coach, he's been a mentor, helps out in the classroom every single day. Just does an amazing job. And if I can laugh, if you can get me to laugh, I'm good, man. I mean, because I tell my wife all the time, I said, look, people are home watching these, horror movies and
Man, I
series.
can't do that dark stuff.
I'm saying, give me some stand-up comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
Give me some
I can't do
stand-up.
the horror stuff. Even at 52 right now, if I watch a horror movie, man, I listen. Listen, I'll be up all night.
Well, look, that's my wife's favorite genre. She loves horror movies, man.
Paul, you better watch yourself, man.
And
Listen, man.
hey,
Man, continue to
I've
treat it
been
right.
I've been I've been with
Continue
it.
to treat it right.
I've been with her 36 years, so I got to keep watching them if I want to keep Mama happy. But I tell you what, I sneak in my comedy
Yeah.
to get that laugh in.
Paul, I love you, man. But listen, I love you, and I want to see you around for many, many more years. Treat it right, man, because she's learning some stuff from horror movies, man.
Hey, look,
I don't want this to be my
she,
last time seeing you.
she's seen so many. She's got a million ways on how to get rid of me, man.
That's what I'm telling you, man.
She's got a million ways on how to get rid of me if she wants to. But I tell you what,
And AI with AI taking over, people never know you're gone because she can use you. She can
right.
just use you and do a voiceover, and
That's right.
your
And
podcast will still be going on, and we won't even know you're gone, man.
man,
It'd be almost like the Jamie Foxx thing.
hmm and what's interesting is, and I think you probably did the same thing. I started early on loving comedy because I would watch Sanford and Son.
Oh man, that's where
You know,
that's your basis. Yeah, Red
I you
Fox,
know
man. That
I read. I mean, I used to listen to Richard Pryor's album.
Yes. Yes.
You know, we can't even say some of the titles of his album nowadays.
No,
Can't say it.
no,
You know,
you can't. And
Bicentennial and
yeah, yeah. And being a comedian now, which that's why I like people even like David Chappelle, Cat
mm-hmm,
Williams, because they don't apologize.
mm-hmm,
And there's one thing about being, I don't know if it's the word being is the right word, because it's not something that you become,
mm-hmm,
it's something that you are.
yeah,
And so with doing comedy, you 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 can't do a lot of thinking. What I mean by that is like, if you get up there and you start worrying about, um,
who you gonna
who you're gonna
offend?
offend and all of that,
Mm-hmm,
it's not gonna flow.
yeah,
Because a part of the comedy is taking a lot of things in life
mm-hmm,
that is hard to deal with and
mm-hmm,
making light of it.
yeah,
Even with ourselves. And if you can look at a lot of things, even within yourself, and laugh about it,
mm-hmm,
sometimes you look at it from a different perspective and be like, it's not so bad.
yeah,
Even at 52, we had more aches and pains than we did when we
mm-hmm.
we was younger. We played sports back then. You could just jump up and run. But now, you can get out of the bed, man. Just put your foot down and
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 pull something.
have a torn Achilles, man. Just
Yeah,
just stepping out the bed,
I'm telling you.
But if you can laugh at it,
Yeah.
and just continue the journey, you know, and other people can share that same story, and encourage each other and say, hey, man, I can relate, man. I've been right there. I've been there, or I'm there now.
And that's the
So,
thing with comedy is I think it's all about relating
it is, man.
because,
It is.
you know, you look at the stories that Richard Pryor used to tell, Eddie Murphy,
Oh, man.
Bernie Mac, you know,
Shoo.
all these guys, they would
Jesus.
talk about
Yes.
stories about, you know, the black community, you
Yes,
know,
man.
what would
Mhm.
happen in our community.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because a lot of it was so true, man, we would all just crack up.
Yes. A lot of those stand-ups that Richard Pryor did, that was his life.
Yeah.
Yeah. He told him that was,
Hmm.
even the character that he had and all that, that was him.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and a lot of things that he been through, stuff like that, and
Is
God
that
bless
where
him.
you draw your comedy from a lot of times, things you've been through?
Yeah, yeah, a lot of things, man. A lot of, uh, even with a lot of things I've been through in life, man. Even
Mhm.
I thank God that years back in 2016, I
Mhm.
had a near death experience.
Mm.
Started from a injury,
Mhm.
uh, in basketball, and when I got the surgery and after the surgery, I wasn't on. Well, I came off the blood thinners too soon,
Mhm.
and ended up developing a blood clot.
Mm.
And I had a blood clot that ended up in my lungs,
Mm.
and then one that was an inch from my heart, Paul.
Wow.
Man, I tell this story everywhere. Man, I'm telling you, God is good. And the doctor said, "I've never seen anything like this." That's the first time, and they've seen everything. The first time I ever seen a doctor shed tears.
Mm.
He removed his glasses and he wiped his tear and he said, "You must have an angel on your shoulder
Mm.
because with blood clots, those things can travel that fast." And they was gonna airlift me to Baltimore,
Mhm.
but right there at John Hopkins, they they hit me with the Lovenox shots and they put me on several medications and the they had me in there. I was in there for 2 weeks.
Mm.
Lost a lot of weight, man. I told him, I said, that ain't the weight loss program I want to be on. I was like, God, if you wanted me to lose weight,
You could
listen,
give me a different hint or
yeah.
something. But look, that just tells you he wasn't done with you yet. He
Man,
still had
listen,
stuff
man,
for you to do. You know,
man,
like
Paul,
working with
man,
these kids. You know,
and God is good, man. But
he
yeah,
certainly is.
yeah, that's where a lot of things that I've seen,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things that I've been through, you know, uh, all that comes out in my comedy,
Man,
in
love it.
my stand up. And so we have fun, man.
Yeah,
And
I know you
my
do.
comedy is more situational. So we talk about a lot of different things that people are going through, and what I try to do through it. I really don't even like to call it a comedy performance. I
Mm,
more so look at it as a ministry,
mhm,
you know, and because I allow God to work through me to hopefully, uplift somebody. If there's 100 people there, and if just one person,
mhm,
is uplifted and blessed,
mhm.
you know,
That's all
I
it
feel
is.
like the mission is accomplished.
That's right.
Because you never know what people's going through in this day and time, man. And as you said, Paul, it's dark times, man. And a lot of people, man, they're on the edge, And
Yeah,
then I just found out, with this going on, we was in the store earlier that, it might be a toilet paper and paper towel shortage coming up, man.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that right there put you on the edge.
With that strike going on, man. You're
Yeah.
right.
So I went and gathered
Um,
up a whole lot of newspaper, man. So if we run out of toilet paper, I got plenty of newspaper.
it's funny you say that because talking about if you just change one person. There's a quote that I go by right now is, helping one person might not change the world, but it might change the world for that one person,
Man, that's powerful.
you know?
Man, say that
So
again,
if
man.
helping one person might not
Mm.
change the world, but it might change the world for that one person.
Man, that's
So
powerful. I'm gonna steal that and I'm gonna use it at my next what's name, man. I
hey,
might give you a shout out. I might give
no, hey, don't give it to me. I wasn't the one that invented that quote. That's just
that
something I read one day, but it's so true because
is powerful.
in
That is
in
true.
in anything you do, you might like say in your position, you might think, man, is anything I'm doing getting through to these kids? Well, listen, I'm gonna tell you, it's getting through to them. They might not realize it now, but they may come back to you 5, 6 years later and say, Coach Tony, man, thank you very much.
That's
Thank
true.
you
I've
for
had it
being
happen.
so hard on me. Thank you for, whatever it is,
Mhm. True.
you know,
True.
you know.
Facts.
So,
Facts.
but
Yes,
man,
indeed, man.
hey, appreciate you, sir.
Hey, Paul,
Can't wait to
man.
see you on
Thanks for
November the
having me, man.
2nd at the
Yes,
Cropper
man.
Station in Princess Anne.
Yes, man. Come
Tony
out, bring your wife, man. Bring everybody.
T Funds Hayward Sr.
Yes.
And look, make sure TJ gets his check, man. Don't hold back his check.
We'll think about it. Hey, I'm a pray. So I'm a pray and fast about it.
He said you better start praying fast.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
He said you better pray fast and give me my money.
you.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. TJ. He boxes and all that stuff now too.
mm,
He's
oh,
big and
oh.
strong. Yeah.
So he
So
probably he's probably at that point where like my son is. He said, "Oh, Dad, I can take you out anytime."
yeah, yeah. When TJ got around about 13,
Mhm.
well, he didn't get his height from me, but when he got when when he got about 13, he would walk past me. And I wonder why he walking past me when he's slowing up
Mhm.
a little bit. He was
Mhm.
sizing me up then. It was going
He'd
through
be
his
like
mind then.
looking,
Yeah, I think I can take that. I think
yeah.
yeah. So
He's
I noticed that when we and him would play rough, so I started noticing that he was becoming more and more aggressive.
hmm
Yeah. He was trying to hurt me. He was
yeah,
trying to
because
hurt me.
my son would do the same thing. He's like, "You too small."
Yeah, that's what my son telling me now. Even when we play, when we go on the court,
Right.
Dad, you too small. Dad, you can't. He hold the ball up in the air, man,
Uh-huh.
and
And he's like, "Come and get it. Jump
yeah,
up there and see if you can get it."
yeah. And I just had to. I got to. That's where they coming at. You
That
know,
elbow will bring him down to size, won't it?
elbow works every time.
Oh man. Well, Tony, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you being on here. And I
Oh,
know
thank
you're gonna
you,
make
man.
somebody laugh. You're
Man,
gonna inspire
appreciate you.
somebody. And then of course, if they come out and see your comedy show, which is clean family fun, they're gonna have a good time too.
I love what you're doing, man. You blessing a lot of
Hey,
folks, man.
And
You're a pioneer, man.
I tell people all the time, it's not me.
I hear you.
You know,
God, yep, yep, working through
he's the
us.
one that's telling me what to do.
Yes, man. You're looking good too, man.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
It's been almost a year now.
Yeah,
Believe it or not, it'll be next week will be a year
that's awesome, man.
since my kidney transplant surgery.
That's
So
awesome, man.
I just
Man,
thank God,
thank God.
thank my daughter. And,
Yes,
you know, so, but look,
yes, man.
we're gonna let you go.
All right, man. Much love to you and your family.
Folks, hey, come see Tony Hayward Sr. T Funds November 2nd at the Crop Station in Princess Anne. What time does it start, Tony?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, we did. It's
So
from 6 to 10.
get there early, get your seat.
Yeah. Before I come
And
on, they're gonna have a singer is coming out doing her thing.
okay,
Then they're gonna bring me on and have a DJ there and
okay.
everything. It's again, can't give it away. Y'all gotta come to my show, man. So when we
Hey,
do at
so
the end, man,
let me
it'll
tell
be a
you this.
blessing.
So if you hear somebody in the back saying boo,
I know it's Paul.
hey, that what was that? That was Eddie Murphy's what was it that show? Uh the one where he was real big.
Yeah, Nutty Professor.
Yeah, Nutty
Yeah,
Professor.
yeah. You know his brother Charlie Murphy.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, he was talking about before he passed.
Hmm.
He was talking about how when Eddie Murphy started out, and people used to say, "Man, would tell Eddie Murphy, man, you're not funny." My son was telling me about this. Say, "Man, you're not funny." And he actually would fight people there, man, at the and would tell him like, "Hey, you're gonna laugh at my brother. You're gonna laugh at my
Right.
brother. My brother's
Right.
funny." So
Wow. That's
so
funny.
so Paul, if that's you, because I
Uh,
love you, man. I won't have nobody come do nothing to you.
okay.
But what I do is I talk to your wife and see if she can
Oh man,
do
don't tell her
something to
that.
you from something that she learned from them
Don't
Horny
tell her that.
movies, man.
Don't give her any more ideas, man. Like you said, she has a million ways to do it. So but listen, folks, you've been watching the Their Story, How They Make It Happen podcast with Tony Hayward Sr., just an amazing gentleman. Really appreciate what he does in the community for the
Bless you,
kids,
man.
and now he's just I mean, he's always been funny, but now we get a chance to go see him be funny. Wherever he's around, and especially November 2nd at the Crop Station in Princess Anne. Sir, take it easy. Folks, we will see you next week on the next edition of Their Story, How They Make It Happen. Have a great week.
Thank you, Paul.